Hello. Today I am doing the Booktube / Authortube newbie tag questions. Because I'm halfway between the two, I thought I'd take a mishmash of both sets of questions and answer my favourite ones. And I also thought I would show you me building my bookcase. Why did I start my channel? 2 reasons, both related to writing in my spare time. The first reason was that as I was writing, I was coming across so many little technique problems and other little bits and pieces that I just didn't know how to resolve in my own writing. So I wanted to start more critically analysing the books that I was reading for fun anyway, and then use that to then inform my own writing so that the next time I came across this problem, I knew how to deal with it. And the second point was that, I am a writer, and one day I hope to publish all of my work. And I hope to one day have a small platform of people, potentially from here on YouTube, of people who will actually care if something gets published, which would be lovely. Which genres do I write in? It's mostly magical realism at the moment, although my current work in progress is a bit of a mixture of magical realism, fantasy / horror. So I'm listening to a lot of dark ambience recently. It's really quite scary. Why do I love reading? I think that's going to be quite a boring answer, really, and it's because it just transports me, not just to other worlds, but to other ways of thinking and other ways of viewing things, and seeing the journeys that other people go on and how they deal with problems. But I do also love going to other worlds and looking at other creatures and things. That's always really exciting to read about. Am I a plotter, panster, or planster? I'm a plotter. I tried pantsing for a while and I just got confused. So I'm a plotter. Which tense do I write in? Third, again, I tried writing in first person and I tied myself up in knots and lost the thread of the story. So third for now, although I will practice first. The book or a series that got me into reading? I don't actually remember a time when I didn't read. When I was young, my mum was still in university and my dad was working. So dad would be working, mum would go to uni, and I would be delivered to the library and we would have story time. So I would always be in the library and always be surrounded by books, and I would come home with a stack of like at least 6 or 7 books every time, which as a young child the librarian was quite pleased to see. So I don't really remember the books that got me into reading, but the books that got me into fantasy would have be The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini, and the dragons and the magic and the all the different races and the species, and that was what really set it off for me. So my copy of Eragon is pretty battered, and if you look back through my Instagram, or if you have a look on my author website, you'll see a few homages to Christopher Paolini and his cast of dragons. Am I published? Technically, yes. I wrote a short story called Chicken, and it was published in an anthology by an independent publisher, and it sold, I think, less than 100 copies, 4 of which I have, and I also gave 1 to my mum and dad, so that's 5 of those 100 copies that didn't go very far. And I also have a piece of flash fiction that was published in a Wikimedia zine, where they put out a call to the world and asked people what does open access to information mean to you? So I wrote a little piece of flash fiction that was published in their Zine, and because it's Open Commons license, whatever you call it, you can just have a look at the PDF online. But I'll also put a link here if you want to have a look at that. My dream publisher would be Orbit. Orbit or Tor, one of those two. Where do I read? I read on an armchair I have in the corner of my living room, and I have a little light and I have a little ridiculous cross stitch of a couple of parrots that I just adore, and I have this little corner set up for myself. The kind of books I read is almost exclusively fantasy, sci-fi, like magical realism, that kind of stuff. I do tend to read some contemporary stuff and some more serious stuff, a little bit of poetry maybe, but my wheelhouse is definitely the sci-fi fantasy. The authors who inspire me, I would have to say, without a doubt, is Ursula K. Le Guin. She is like the epitome of everything that is amazing when it comes to books. She's just the best. Closely followed by China Miéville. His books are they're just. And also Carlos Ruiz Zafón, his Cemetery of Forgotten Books series. Oh my god! I haven't actually read the two middle ones. I read the first one and then bought the fourth one, not realizing that it was the fourth one in a series and that there were two in the middle. So I need to get on that. If I could just be like the love child between those three people, that would just be amazing. And the thing I'm most looking forward to now that I am part of the Booktube / Authortube community is just seeing what everybody thinks. Because I'm reading these books and I'm analysing them by myself in my little reading corner, and I wonder what you think. If you agree with me, if you think what I say is bullshit, or if you have a new angle on things that I've read myself. I'm really looking forward to having that conversation with you. Thank you for watching me build my bookcase, and I'll see you in the comments.